咁上一次我哋就講到即係其實中東而家嗰個局勢都係好微妙，因為一路以嚟美國嗰個霸權嘅實踐咧，同中東即係一個即係好緊密嘅關係啦。咁而長時間，譬如以色列呢啲都係佢部落喺中東嘅旗幟。咁啊，即係譬如而家就即係可能有一啲變化嘅發生啦，即係隨住而家呢個茉莉花革命嘅發生啦，可能以色列就會覺得呢個係一個機會啊，定唔知點樣啊嚇。咁但係講翻轉頭咧，除咗呢樣嘢之外咧，即係我哋要講翻一個比較闊啲嘅問題，就媒體嘅問題。因為我哋都知道，即係尤其是我哋香港啦，即係基本上冇人會去中東做報導啊。咁我哋所有嘅消息咧都係嚟自於西方媒體。咁但係其實呢個亦都係長期以嚟嗰個中東嘅新聞消息嗰個一個好大嘅問題。就一係咧，我哋就信 CNN 咯，信呢個西方媒體對於嗰個中東嘅嗰個報導啦。呢一係咧就另外一個代表就係卡塔爾半島電視台。咁啊幾乎啊好權威，即係頭先阿 Nin 都講過，即係
除此以外，我哋都唔知睇啲乜嘢。
係啦，咁啊除此之外咧，我哋基本上冇辦法咧知道究竟中東係發生咩事啊。咁呢啲其實對於其實坦白講都唔係淨係對我哋，其實我哋諗真啲，其實對於美國喺西方世界嚟講，都會構成一啲問題，即係會有一啲效果嘅，即係呢個咁片面嘅，或者唔好未必係片面，呢個咁窄嘅信息嘅來源。即係譬如我諗未茉莉花革命之前，我諗冇乜人知道或者冇人 feel 到會出事嘅，即係所謂中東。咁呢個我哋倒翻轉頭，係咪我哋對於中東嘅了解一路以嚟都出現咗啲問題
？I just say that there's one thing that I find to be very disturbing right now is on the one hand we are very excited about what's happening in the Middle East and we want all autocracies in the Middle East to fall, within a very short span of time. So now we're all saying, okay, well, where's the next one? Is it going to be in Bahrain? Is it going to be in Yemen? We wanted to spread to Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Jordan and Oman and all these kinds of countries. But we have to take a very close look at these opposition leaders and what do they want? How are they positioning themselves in relation to Western powers or, Gulf countries or Arab countries that have Western occupied armies? And how are their appeals addressed? And do they really represent the people? Do they represent interests that are amenable to Western imperialist power? I mean, what we could effectively be seeing in this stage is right. And I mean, what I fear a lot is we could be seeing kind of military coups in the old style, but these would be military coups with a human face because it would have the support of the general public all over the world because they would say, okay, well, these people are opposition leaders of the Omani people, the Qatari people, the Jordanian people, or whatever. But these leaders are actually taking this opportunity with what's happening in Libya and saying, hey, you guys are doing this for Libya. Why don't you do this for us too? And it's like, we will be really pliable, we will be really obedient to what you want if you overthrow this and this and this and it will look more credible to the rest of the world and it will look like we will have thriving democracies across the Middle East.
呢個乜鬼 with the human face 真係好第四，連呢個
即係始終我哋
with the human face 都可以出到嚟啦。
一日唔係親身飛過去嗰度去睇住咩情況發生嘅話，一日都冇辦法做。
唔係因為事實上就係每個國家嘅情況可以唔同。即係譬如我哋見到埃及好多報道都話原來佢哋嗰個公民社會真係好活躍即係有啲人會走出嚟講。咁但係譬如利比亞就好唔明確啦，即係究竟係咪一個法治民間嘅公民社會去反對加納菲嘅政權，定係只係佢哋嘅分贓唔勻嘅一個果咧咁？咁然後如果我哋話喂，同埋西方國家根本唔需要理會呢啲嘢，即係佢最後就係可能我睇邊一個係打開門口想同我做生意。邊個肯割得肉割得多，咁我就隨時可以出兵嚟幫你。即係如果係咁咧，呢個變成一種新嘅形式嘅，即係簡單嚟講係一種赤裸嘅帝國主義同埋殖民主義嚟。
但係阿 Nin 頭先講過，即係呢一樣嘢唔係咁簡單，即係佢仲有一個 human face， 即係佢令到我哋一般人透過即係消化嗰啲咁樣嘅。係啊，
咁然後呢個就變成一個媒體嘅問題。
授權俾佢去做埋呢啲嘢，其實我哋真係自己呃自己。
即係我哋仲要搖旗吶喊添，我哋幫佢。但係呢個其實已經唔係但係呢樣嘢唔係
第一次發生，
即係唔係新㗎啦。即係如果我哋諗翻轉頭，第一次波斯灣戰爭91年嘅時候，其實我記得啦，我唔知道即係你哋有冇呢個印象？香港人大部分都係覺得啱啊，應該打鬼呢個 呢個
每個
人
人心裏面都有嗰種即係訴諸暴力嘅衝動，只不過我哋去到一個所謂文明嘅社會，我哋盡量唔去將呢個潛在嘅意識形態發泄出嚟。
咁但係喺同埋呢個最抵死就係佢真係塑造到嗰種出師有名嘅正義之師啊，
正邪之分。
係啦，咁然後就有一個係白臉，有一個係黑臉，咁啊搞掂啦啊！而家美國佬咧就當年咧91年嘅時候，即係阿老布殊就係好人啦，咁然後就掉低咗呢個伊拉克，咁嗰陣時係好多人都好開心嘅喎。即其實呢個已經係最早嘅所謂，即係如果我哋即係有所謂嘅 military coup with a human face，其實呢個就已經係第一次。
And I mean, the interesting thing about Egypt is that Egypt was actually, before Mubarak was forced to leave, was going to make this transition on their own. Because we know that Mubarak's son, Gamal Mubarak, is actually the head of this small liberal democratic technocratic faction that was about to take over power in Egypt, and they were thinking, okay, how are we going to create a kind of pseudo-liberal democratic order in Egypt with a kind of with technocrats running the democracy, and we will be more modern, we will be less detached.
你咁講令我諗起新加坡真係。
And I mean, there's one thing that's very dangerous with with the way that we are looking at this situation in the Middle East, and I think this is something that even Slavoj Žižek is quite guilty of doing, because Slavoj Žižek, when he talked about Egypt,
即係你而家要鬧侍姐啦。
yeah.
哇！喺呢個我從好多人都講侍姐，但係好少人會鬧嘅。
應該鬧下。
Because Zizek, when he has talked about Iran or when he has talked about Egypt, he focuses a lot on what the égalité, right? He talks about, okay, well, these people, they want democratic rights, they want republican rights, and he's still in this kind of French Revolution kind of tradition and trying to frame what's happening in the Middle East in a kind of like Western Republican sort of way. So he's kind of saying, okay, these people are also capable of exercising all of these Western political demands. But the problem with this is that the Western media is also portraying it this way. The Western media only focuses on one aspect of what's happening in the Middle East, which is people asking for democratic demands. So what the West has actually done is they have driven a cleavage and they have separated the political dimension from the economic dimension. And that's why they're no longer covering Egypt, because for the general public, people look at the Egypt and they're like, oh, Mubarak's gone, everything is okay, the revolution is done. But it's not like that, because workers are still doing sit-ins, workers are still doing strikes, people are still occupying Tahrir Square. And the problem with when you separate political demands from economic demands is you forget what political economy teaches us, is that there's no such thing as democracy if there's no economic democracy. And this is what the press doesn't want us to talk about. It doesn't, because the press wants to smother the class struggle, and it wants to present the middle class demands for, you know, democracy, freedom of speech, all this kind of stuff, and put that at the forefront and say, okay, this is what the Egyptian people want.
呢個比較複雜，我做少少中文嘅注腳啦。即係而家講嘅就係話即係而家西方媒體好中意咧，就將譬如埃及就係一個好明顯嘅例子，就係佢將埃及嘅革命睇成係一種自由民主嘅革命。咁然後完成咗，即係將呢個穆巴克趕走咗咧，就 suppose 會迎來一個民主嘅體制，係啦。咁然後咧就已經完咗，即係埃及咧就叫所謂茉莉花革命完成了。咁但係事實上係咩咧？就係而家我哋仲見到好多工人啦，或者好多嘅基層嘅人啦，佢哋仍然喺埃及做緊好多遊行啊、示威啊，或者係抗議活動。咁呢啲究竟係意味住咩咧？其實佢哋同時間除咗政治嘅民主化之外，亦都要求經濟上咧有充分嘅民主化。咁但係西方媒體咧就希望咧就將呢一兩樣嘢分開，因為佢哋會想令你覺得啊，而家我哋需要咧就係追求呢個民主指數啦。咁經濟咧當然佢就會即係趨向所謂 end of history 咧，就資本主義就玩完啦，並且仲要係極端嘅新自由資本主義添，
係玩晒，
係玩晒，係啊，仲要玩晒添咁樣。咁所以即係如果係咁咧，我哋就會見唔到，同埋尤其是係以呢個咁樣嘅立場出發咧，就西方媒體嗰個 presentation， 亦都包括埋卡塔爾半島電視台喺事實上，就係佢哋會令我哋漠視咗好多喺中東仍然發生嘅階級嘅矛盾。而呢啲矛盾倒翻轉頭咧，如果我哋從翻政治經濟嘅立場出發咧，先至係正正引發政治矛盾同埋危機嘅一啲基礎。咁所以如果係咁樣，我哋就成個 picture 咧就會係 即係俾佢搞禍咗。
I kind of want to add one more thing is if we kind of return to this question of hegemony which Gramsci talked about, and the reason why a country like Egypt was able to accomplish this revolution in a relatively bloodless way is because for so many years Mubarak's administration is actually a very post-political administration. Mubarak's foreign policy has been very unadventurous. If we think about the two regimes that preceded Mubarak, which the first one being Nasser, and Nasser coming up with this great like Arab nationalist populist kind of project which motivated people from the bottom up, and then we had Sadat after Nasser, and Sadat had this like Intifa, I think that's what he called it, the opening up of Egypt, and he had this neoliberal project which people also kind of, I mean it wasn't very popular, but at least it was something like a kind of galvanizing force. With Mubarak, he's been a very conservative, very pragmatic, very opportunistic kind of president who has been very, very dislocated from his people. So between the people and Mubarak, there's been this political void which has not been filled by anything. And into this political void steps the Muslim Brotherhood, which has been doing a lot of social work and has been trying to organize communities and all this kind of stuff. So the Muslim Brotherhood has filled this political void, and they have created a kind of hegemony where they have kind of institutions that can succeed Mubarak after Mubarak leaves. But in a situation like Libya or in other countries that we're looking at across the Gulf, we have to ask, are there forces that are politically hegemonic that can accomplish a revolution without the help of the West? And if this is not so, then will opposition leaders opportunize on this situation and instead of representing people hegemonically by working on grassroots institutions, ask America to come in and install a kind of artificial foreign kind of transplant government? And I think this is a situation that we really have to be very careful about.
咁啊，咁啊呢一集咧講完呢度咧，我哋大概即係已經了解多咗好多有關中東嘅問題。係啦，咁同埋即係我諗阿 Lin 最後提嗰個係好重要，就係、我哋要諗嘅唔係話中東一個鐵板咁樣，而係其實裏邊仲有好多唔同嘅變化嘅可能。而埃及可能係一個比較算係好嘅一個特殊嘅例子，因為其實正正係因為穆巴拉克長時間同群眾嘅脱離，造就咗一個所謂社會嘅真空，令到穆斯林兄弟會可以成為即係如果用緊呢嘅講法，即係用呢個葛蘭西嘅統制嘅講，即係統制即係 hegemony， 亦都係我哋而家成日用霸權嘅講法啦，就係、可以真正咁樣咧，成為一個影響社會嘅勢力，而完成咗呢一個即係未至於完成啦，啟動同埋帶動一個真正嘅革命。咁啊，但係其他國家係咪咁咧？就好懸疑啦。咁最後有冇咩補充？咁我哋今集嘅時間差唔多啦，希望咧下次再同大家見面。多謝。